So good afternoon guys, welcome back to the channel. Yep, we've done it again. We've bought another Mini for €1,000. So let's check it out and see what we've got.
From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Okay guys, here it is. So a spot of context, because I've broke my own rules by doing this. We weren't actually looking for a new project, but this seemed like a fairly reasonable risk. I bought the car sight unseen, which you should never do, from pictures that were sent by the owner. The guy was in a bit of a desperate situation because he wanted to clear the space in his parents' garage and he wanted €1,000 for it. So worst case scenario is that it's a car for parts, or it may well be worth restoration. He's also sent some additional parts in the car as well. Yeah, so you're actually seeing the car for the first time that I am. It's an 88 Mini Mayfair, as I understood it. The guy started a restoration on it a few years ago and then he ran out of enthusiasm and money. The engine's been fully serviced by a reputable Mini garage about 2 years ago, so the engine's definitely a saver. But I think we're going to have to dig a little bit further into this to see whether this is a restoration or not. So let's get it inside on the ramp. So that's a nice bonus. There's a set of, I think, Revolution RFX wheels in the back seat of the car. Looks like he's already had them sandblasted, so they need powder coating, but 12 inches. Yeah, I think we can definitely make use of those. So let's take a look at the business end first. Let's start by taking a look at the engine. Let's try and do this with one hand, so excuse me for a minute. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure what qualifies as barn find these days, but I think if you've got a nest in your engine, it's pretty much a qualification that it's a barn find. So as I said, the engine has been serviced about 2 years ago. Documentation and receipts support that. And actually there is 1 or 2 giveaways. He did say that he'd had a new clutch fitted, and you can see the clutch master cylinder looks new, so that would support that idea. It had a newer header on it, and I can see here the gasket is new. Looks like he attempted to paint the engine at some point, but again ran out of enthusiasm. Obviously the air intake's been changed, and it's got a very old Mini Spares manifold on it by the looks of it, and they've rerouted the hot water through the manifold as well, so you get much better atomization of the fuel. Some homemade wiring and a new fuse box has been fitted. So yeah, it's not too bad. I've seen worse, and it's certainly got potential. And obviously this is a 998 with a stage 1 kit, so yeah, we'll give that a turn over in a minute and see how that runs. Okay, so let's take a look underneath, because he claimed that the subframe and engine had been taken out at some point. Yeah, you can see that it's had certainly new engine mounts in there. Subframe itself looks like it's in reasonable condition for its age. It's had new bushings fitted. The bottom of the engine is fairly clean, so yeah, it does seem to support the idea. Interestingly enough, he never refitted the shock absorbers, so the car is purely running on the elastomer rubbers. A quick look at the underneath of the car. Exhaust is toast. Looks like it's been welded on the end. But other than that, so far, it does seem to support what he said. So let's look a little further. So I've reconnected the battery and checked the oil levels. Let's see now if we've got any power. Oh, that's a good sign, the radio came on. You can see the amp gauges move. Let's see. Sounds like there's certainly some ignition in there. Maybe there's an issue with the fueling. I don't want to push it too hard because if the fuel is old it'll just gum up the carburetor, but seems to turn over okay. So interestingly enough, the document registration says it's a Mayfair and it's blue, but clearly it seems like this guy was trying to emulate a jet black edition car, because this is definitely a jet black interior. He's also fitted a brand new roof liner as well, so yeah, interesting. Let's dig a little further. So if we take a look at some of the body panels now, it's actually got two new wings on it. The guy never got round to painting. The doors are completely shot, but he did actually give me some replacement doors, which is good. Roof is in good condition, and the rain gutter seems like it's all in good condition as well. Rear quarters, this side seem okay, but on the other side there's a couple of dents, and it's actually rusted below the window there, which is pretty typical. For some reason he never put the seams back on. Not sure why that is, but yeah, you see here, nothing too dramatic. Pop out windows are in good condition as well, the chrome is good, so you can certainly use those. To the back of the car, no rust around the windows to speak of. Looks like he's had new rubbers fitted. Not entirely sure what he was doing here. There's no hole underneath it. Let's take a look underneath. So again, subframe looks like it's in pretty good condition. Lines look like they've been replaced at some point as well. Floor looks okay from this angle, but you can never really tell because multiple of sins can be covered up by under seal, but it does look like it's in one piece. So looks like it's had a new rear valance as well. So yeah. So let's check inside the boot. Boot liner. Oh, and here's the first example of a poor repair. Clearly the rear half has been replaced, but they've not done a very good job of blending this because they've left the seam here, so we need to strip that down and take a closer look at that repair. And again, if you look at the door sills, there's some rust going on, some small scabbing, but it doesn't look like anything that couldn't be corrected. It's clearly had new carpets fitted. If you can get these, here we go, here's another example. That's a pretty bad patch right there. Rest of the floor looks like it's original, and it's just had some repair work done there. You can see there as well. So this looks like it's had new sills put on at some point. are not very well. Yeah, actually these are oversills. They're not open on the end, so that needs investigating as well, because you can really mess up the integrity of a car if those are not correct. So yeah, good news is door slams shut. Even though it's on the ramps, the door is actually closing quite easy, which is a good sign that the integrity is still there as well. So there you go, guys. That's what €1,000 gets you with a classic Mini. I'm not disappointed because the subframe, the glass, the wheels, certainly the engine as well, sum up to €1,000. So I think we did okay in that perspective. Question remains on whether we turn it into a project or not. One thing I have got at the back of my mind though is that I did build a 1275 twin carburetor engine about 1.5 years ago. I built it incorrectly for the registration of the car at the time. This one does actually have the correct registration to pass the emissions test, so if we do decide to turn it into a project, we can actually put this engine in. It's always funny to see when people start projects like this, that they start off with a vision and enthusiasm, and the quality of their work at that point reflects it, but over time they get disillusioned and the quality of the work actually tapers off quite quickly. This car is certainly an example of that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll sleep on it and think about whether it's a project or not. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stay safe, stay negative, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.